I have been married for a long time. Young marriage, young dreams, and all the hopes in the world. My name is Michael, and my wife's name is Emily. We met when we were barely out of college. She had this energy about her, the kind of smile that could light up the darkest room, and I remember thinking from the very beginning that she was someone I couldn't let slip away. We didn't wait long to tie the knot. Everyone told us we were too young, that love fades, that the real world would test us harder than we expected. But I didn't care. I loved her more than anything, and for years, I thought we had built something unbreakable. We went through the usual struggles of married life. Financial bumps in the early years, disagreements about where to live, career choices, the never-ending question of when or if we wanted children. But through it all, I thought Emily was my partner, my teammate, the one who always had my back. We traveled together, made memories together, and whenever we fought, we always found our way back to each other. I believed we were unshakable. This year, Emily decided she wanted to go abroad for another degree program. She said it would help her career, and I supported her. That's what a husband does, right? She left for the United States to study, and to make things easier financially, she stayed at my cousin Rachel's house. Rachel lived with her husband, David, and they had been kind enough to offer Emily a room while she got settled into her program. I trusted them. Why wouldn't I? They were family. At first, Emily and I kept in touch constantly. We texted, called, and video chatted almost every night. I missed her like crazy, but I kept reminding myself this was temporary. A few months apart for a lifetime of better opportunities. But then, slowly, things started to shift. She became harder to reach. She always seemed busy, stressed, or distracted. Calls would get cut short, and sometimes she wouldn't answer at all. I told myself she was exhausted from classes. I told myself she just needed space to focus. But deep down, an unease started to grow. Then one night I got the truth. It came through a message I wasn't supposed to see. A relative of mine, someone who had seen things firsthand, sent me a message out of concern. They didn't go into details at first, but they hinted at Emily being far too close to David, my cousin's husband. I brushed it off. There was no way. Emily wasn't like that. David wasn't like that. But then the messages became clearer. Descriptions of late-night whispers, of them sneaking off together, of Emily laughing in ways she hadn't laughed in years. And then the words that shattered me. They weren't just close. They were together. I couldn't breathe when I read it. My chest tightened, my hands shook. I told myself it couldn't be real. But the more I dug, the more I discovered. Emily hadn't just made a mistake, a drunken kiss, or a moment of weakness. She had been involved with him for weeks, maybe months. They had been sneaking around behind my back, and worst of all, she didn't even seem to feel guilty. The part that broke me wasn't just the physical betrayal, though that alone was enough to crush me. It was how she behaved afterward. When I finally confronted her gently, testing the waters, she didn't show remorse. She didn't cry or apologize. Instead, she looked almost amused, like I was the one overreacting. She admitted it, only, almost proudly. She told me she had enjoyed it because it was so forbidden, so reckless, so unlike anything we'd ever done. She described the thrill of sneaking around, of being desired in ways that made her feel alive. And I stood there listening because as much as it destroyed me, I couldn't stop loving her. That's the part one hates admitting. I was furious, betrayed, humiliated. But I was also obsessed. No matter what she said, no matter how deeply she cut me, I couldn't turn off my feelings. Emily looked me in the eye and told me she felt no regret. She said she liked how it made her feel. Powerful, wanted, alive. She even admitted that she was the one who initiated most of it. She would lean in first, touch his arm, whisper in his ear. She sought him out, not the other way around. She confessed this without shame, as if she were talking about trying a new hobby or joining a new club. And then she added the cruelest part. She said that when she looked at me, she still saw the man she loved, but when she was with him, she felt something raw, something she couldn't resist. I don't think she even realized how much those words tore through me. From that day, I've been living in a storm of emotions I can't control. Anger so sharp it makes my hands clench until my knuckles turn white. Heartbreak that keeps me awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering where I went wrong. But above all, obsession. This sick, twisted love I can't shake. No matter how much she's hurt me, I want her. I need her. The thought of losing her feels worse than the thought of enduring her betrayal. I find myself replaying every memory, every laugh, every kiss, every quiet night we shared. I wonder if she thought of him even then. Was I always living with a shadow over my marriage without knowing it? Was I blind, or was she that good at hiding it? And the worst part is that every time I see her now, I can't stop looking for signs. Signs of guilt that never come, signs of hesitation that aren't there. She walks around with her head high, almost defiant, like she dares me to challenge her. When we talk, she doesn't apologize. She doesn't ask for forgiveness. Instead, she talks about her classes, her future, her plans. It's as if her betrayal doesn't even exist in her mind. And when I look at her, my heart aches because she's still so beautiful to me. Still the woman I fell in love with. Still the center of my universe. How do you let go of someone like that, even when they've already let go of you? Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality. I imagine them together, laughing at me, mocking me without ever saying a word. I imagine her blushing when he touches her, the way she used to blush when I did. And then I see her in front of me, smiling as if nothing happened, and my chest tightens all over again. Friends tell me to leave her, to walk away, save my dignity and start over. But they don't understand. They don't know what it's like to be so hopelessly bound to someone that even their betrayal feels like a chain you can't break. Emily has a hold on me that I can't explain, one that makes no sense to anyone else. I hate her for what she's done, but I love her even more for who she is to me. I keep asking myself the same questions every night. Do I confront her harder? Do I beg her to choose me? Do I walk away and never look back? Or do I accept that I'm addicted to her, even if it means drowning in this pain for the rest of my life? Right now I don't have answers. All I know is that my wife betrayed me, and I can't stop loving her. And that contradiction is tearing me apart from the inside out. The days after I found out about Emily's betrayal blurred into each other. I went to work, I talked to people, I smiled when I was supposed to, but inside I was hollow. Every moment felt like I was moving through water, heavy and slow, with an ache in my chest that wouldn't fade. Nights were the hardest. I'd lie awake staring at my phone, wondering if she was with him even in that moment, if she was whispering in his ear the way she used to whisper in mine. When Emily called, her voice was warm, cheerful, casual, as though nothing had happened. She spoke about assignments, about professors, about the weather. I listened, nodding even though she couldn't see me, trying to sound supportive. But beneath every word she spoke was a silent scream in my head. Why did you do this to me? Sometimes I wanted to blurt it out. I wanted to shout, to demand answers, to make her feel the weight of what she had done. But when the moment came, I froze. The fear of pushing her away, of losing her completely, paralyzed me. Instead, I clung to every second we spoke, every trace of normalcy I could salvage. I hated myself for it. I hated how weak I felt. But I couldn't let go. My cousin Rachel had no idea. At least she didn't then. I kept wondering what would happen if she found out. Her world would crumble just as mine had. I thought about telling her, exposing the truth, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Part of me wanted revenge, to watch David fall apart, to see Emily's world collapse. But another part of me, the part still chained to Emily's smile, couldn't bear the thought of destroying her. Became two people. Outwardly, I was Michael, the supportive husband, the man who encouraged his wife's studies and believed in her dreams. Inwardly, I was a storm. Jealousy, anger, heartbreak, and obsession churned in me like fire I couldn't extinguish. The worst part was when Emily started being more open about her freedom. She never named David, but she made subtle remarks. She'd say things like, "I feel alive out here. I'm trying new things. I'm not the same girl you married when we were young." She said it with a playful smile, but I knew what she meant. She wasn't hiding it anymore. She was letting me know, without spelling it out, that she was different now. And that difference had a name. Every time she spoke like that, I wanted to break down. But I kept my voice steady, telling her I loved her, that I believed in her, that I couldn't wait until she came home. And she would laugh lightly, almost dismissively, as if those words were something quaint and outdated. The pull she had over me only grew. I thought about her constantly. I checked her social media obsessively, searching for hints of where she was or who she was with. Every smile in a photo felt like a knife. Every vague caption a secret code I wasn't meant to understand. I tried to distract myself, to bury myself in work, in friends, in anything that would keep my mind off her. But nothing worked. She was everywhere. One night, after weeks of holding it in, I finally broke. I called her, and when she answered, I couldn't pretend anymore. My voice cracked as I asked, "Why him, Emily? Why would you do this to me?" There was silence on the line. For a moment, I thought she would deny it, tell me I was imagining things. But instead she sighed. Not a sigh of guilt, but of annoyance, like a mother scolding a child who had asked too many questions. "Michael," she said calmly, "I don't owe you every piece of myself. I needed something different. You don't understand what it feels like to be wanted in ways you can't even imagine." Her words cut deeper than anything else she had ever said. I tried to argue, to remind her of our years together, of the love we had built. But she was unmoved. She told me she didn't regret it, that it made her feel free, that maybe our marriage wasn't as perfect as I thought. Begged her. I hated myself for it, but I begged. I told her I could forgive her, that we could rebuild, that nothing she had done could erase the love I felt. But she only grew colder. She said I was obsessed, that I was clinging too tightly, that maybe my love was more suffocating than I realized. That night after we hung up, I sat in the dark for hours. My hands shook, my chest ached, and tears burned my eyes. I realized she wasn't just slipping away. She had already left me in her heart. And yet I couldn't let go. In the weeks that followed, I tried to move on, but everything reminded me of her. The smell of her perfume still lingered on the pillow she used. The songs she loved popped up on the radio, mocking me with memories of better times. Even small things, like a coffee cup she had once favored, became painful reminders of what I had lost. My friends noticed the change in me. They told me I needed to cut ties, to stop torturing myself, to walk away. But their words bounced off me like rain on stone. They didn't know what it was like to love someone so deeply, so completely, that even betrayal couldn't sever the bond. And then came the final blow. Emily called one evening, and her tone was different. Softer, almost careful. She told me she didn't know if she could come back home the way I wanted her to. She said she was finding herself out there, that maybe we had grown apart, that maybe our love wasn't enough anymore. She didn't say she was leaving me outright, but the message was clear. She was preparing me for the end. I wanted to scream, to shout, to demand that she remember all the years we had shared, all the sacrifices I had made, all the love I had poured into her. But the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I simply said, "I'll wait for you. No matter what, I'll wait." She didn't answer right away. Then she whispered, "Michael, don't wait too long." Those words haunt me still. Now I live in a constant state of limbo. My heart is chained to a woman who has already broken me, and I don't know how to let go. Some nights, I imagine her choosing me again, walking through the door and smiling the way she used to. Other nights, I imagine her gone forever, her laughter belonging to someone else. I don't know how this story ends. Maybe I'll find the strength to walk away. Maybe she'll come back, remorseful and ready to rebuild. Or maybe I'll stay trapped in this endless cycle of love and pain, unable to free myself from the woman who destroyed me. What I do know is that love, real, obsessive, blinding love, doesn't disappear just because someone betrays you. It lingers, it festers, it consumes you until you don't recognize yourself anymore. And that's where I am now. Broken, obsessed, and still hopelessly in love with the woman who tore my world apart.